In America, there's a significant kind of public insistence that one's freedom is fundamentally tied to one's wealth. Once an individual, especially a person of color, achieves a certain level of financial success, they will rise above the trappings of economic or racial inequality and become truly free, irrespective of their racial, ethnic, or religious background. That may be the perception, but it is not the reality. Unfortunately, the experience of many notable Black Americans have made clear one's economic privilege is not a great barrier against discrimination or oppression. Many Black athletes have been routinely criticized in this country for standing up or kneeling down for racial justice. The fact that systemic racism is real and that individual prosperity does not make an athlete immune to racial discrimination is often ignored. There is a thread of thought in America that suggests that Black athletes should just be grateful to live in this country, that racism can exist in America if Black athletes are allowed to play and sign contracts for significant sums of money, that Black athletes have no moral authority on issues of race and inequality because of their individual success. We know that this is not the case. Inequality is deeper than the color of one's skin or the size of their bank account, and that wealth is not necessarily a bar to how a person of color is treated for the views they hold. It's these kinds of nuances that the Difference Engine at ASU will explore. It's an academic center like none other, one focused on how social, political, and economic inequality all interact together to play a role in creating structures that are unfair and just. And it's also different because it goes beyond just shining a light on these issues. It's an applied center, one that involves ASU students and faculty in producing real products that folks can use to reduce the effects of structural inequality in their communities, from an iPhone app to a Women's Power and Influence Index that rates organizations on their commitment to equity. Black athletes have always been at the forefront of the struggle for racial justice, from the upraised fist of Tommie Smith and John Carlos at the 1968 U.S. Olympics to Colin Kaepernick's kneeling tribute in 2016. But it's my hope that in the future, we don't need to have these brave athletes protest to bring attention to some of the most fundamental public challenges of our time. That instead, the future policymakers, builders, and advocates at the Difference Engine will forge an America where equity is at the center of everything we do. There are many ways for AS students, athletes, staff, faculty, and the broader community to get involved with the work of the Difference Engine. I hope you will join me in taking the first step in becoming a difference engineer by signing up for our newsletter, where we share specific ways you can get involved in making a tangible difference in your community. We thank you for your consideration.